Just come across this article on the internet in regards to a guy that he got fined by the BBC, but he invoked the right to trial by combat and supposedly won. I want to firstly say I think this is satire, so but I did find it quite funny. And we'll go into another article that, after looking at this, that appeared on a major news website in the United Kingdom in regards to another item of a driving offence, actually, that is of the same, idea of doing and saying this in court. So anyway, this article that I'm about to talk about, which is the satire one first, was that a court accepted a 60-year-old man's attempt to invoke the ancient right to trial by combat rather than paying a £1,250 fine for not paying his TV license. And for all my American friends and other people around the world that watch my YouTube videos, yes, in England, if you own a television set and you are watching live broadcasts, you have to buy a license to watch TV. You have to watch, if you're watching television programs that are live broadcasted, you have to pay this corporation, the British Broadcasting Corporation, a fee for a license. Otherwise, they will send these people will send letters to your house, and then they'll come knocking on the door asking if you have a television license. And if you don't have a television license, and you get into talking to these people and let them know, then you could end up facing going to court, of which you'll have to try and defend yourself and probably end up getting fined. So anyway, back to this article. So this guy in the article, his name apparently is Keith Woods. He remained adamant and about his right to fight a champion nominated by the British Broadcasting Corporation, the BBC, who he says that that this right is still valid under European human rights legislation, and he said it would have been a reasonable way to settle the matter. And so the magistrates sitting at this Manchester Crown Court on Friday, and this is one of the things that made me think about this. I don't think that you have magistrates sitting at Crown Court. It's normally a judge. This guy has a wig on and a robe and a dress, whatever you want to call it. And you normally have a jury of your peers, and a magistrates court's normally just a panel of 3 people, and they can come from all walks of life, like school teachers, business owners, whatever. Anyway, but yeah, so these magistrates sitting at Manchester Crown Court had accepted his offer to take on a clerk from the BBC with samurai swords, Gurkha knives, or heavy hammers. Unfortunately, here's the funny part about it. Unfortunately, the BBC's health and safety policy restricted them in the process of nominating a champion to fight Mr. Woods, and had to concede the case against him. And the BBC also had to bear all the costs of the case and pay Mr. Woods compensation for his time spent dealing with the matter. Apparently the article goes on to say that the news has been going viral because there is now a legal way to avoid paying the much despised TV license in the UK. And the BBC has been trying to keep this story from going mainstream because it will alert the world that you don't have to pay your TV license. So yeah, it's you know, it's a spoof. It's a spoof article. I think it's satire. However, after looking at you know, just googling the words that was in it, apparently there's an article from the Telegraph from 2002, which I think this came from, and it says court refuses trial by combat, and this is by the Telegraph, like I say, and says a court has rejected a 60-year-old man's attempt to invoke the ancient right to trial by combat rather than pay a £25 fine for a minor motoring offence. Leon Humphreys remained adamant yesterday that he's right to fight a champion nominated by the Driver and Vehicle Licensing Agency, the DVLA. It's like the DMV over here in the States. Was still valid under European human rights legislation. He said it would have been a reasonable way to settle the matter. Magistrates sitting at a Bury St Edmunds on Friday had disagreed, and instead of accepting his offer to take on a clerk from Swansea with samurai swords, Gurkha knives, or heavy hammers, fined him £200 with £100 costs. Humphreys, an unemployed mechanic, was taken to court after refusing to pay the original £25 fixed penalty for failing to notify the DVLA that his Suzuki motorcycle was off the road. After entering a not guilty plea, he threw down the unconventional challenge. Humphrey from Bury St Edmunds said, I was willing to fight a champion put up by the DVLA, but it wouldn't have been a fight to the death. Sorry, but it would have been a fight to the death. Yeah. So, yeah. So I guess that's where the spoof article has come from. But, you know, I know there's a lot of people over in England that are advocating for people to stop paying their television license because obviously this is a corporation that's telling people that they have to pay a TV license. And so I guess this spoof article is just a way of getting the word out to people to try and get enough people to stand up and say, you know, we're not paying for a television license anymore. I personally, I think it's ridiculous that, you know, I don't watch television anyway, but I think it's ridiculous to actually, you know, pay for a license to watch a box in, you know, this TV thing, to watch stuff on it. I mean, I don't think there's any reason why they can't scramble the signal, and you have to, if you want to watch what somebody's broadcasting, then you pay to watch, just like what cable is over here and satellite television. So yeah, I mean, it's ridiculous that this is forced on you, that if you have this television set that and you're watching live broadcast, that you have to pay, mandatory. And they send out letters to every house in the UK in regards to TV licensing, and then they send some man or woman out to knock on the door, and where they get you is if you answer the door and start getting into a conversation with them, and they find out, you know, that they think that you have a television license, a television without a television license, then they'll take court proceedings. So anyway, I just thought that this was amusing and funny, and I just thought I'd share it with you. So thanks a lot for watching. Don't forget to share, like, and subscribe, and peace.